This is Take Back Our Power with host Joy Binah. Information that supports community health. Information empowering you with personal health. Take back our power. And now, here's Joy.
Welcome to Take Back Our Power. I'm Joy Binah. Today we're beginning the first of a two-part show that will bring you three dynamic women whose organizations are collaborating on an exciting project that inspires creative expression in our youth based on Latino art. Betsy Anderson is founding director of Museo Eduardo Carrillo, an online museum and private foundation established in 2000. Museo makes sure that Carrillo's pioneering presence, his participation in the Chicano movement in the late 60s, his years as a professor of art at UCSC and as a painter and muralist will be accessible and inspire future generations. Museo Eduardo Carrillo holds a singular place in the national landscape as the only artist-endowed foundation in the United States to represent a Mexican American. Julia Chiapella, a writer, poet, and teacher, is the director of the Young Writers Program. She and writing colleagues Jory Post and Karen Ackland created Santa Cruz Writes in the fall of 2011 to enhance literary opportunities for Santa Cruz County residents. Julia has been directing the Young Writers Program, which is co-funded by the Santa Cruz County Office of Education since the fall of 2012. Arlene Gottschalk, instructor and administrator, is a volunteer at the Pajaro Valley Arts, whose mission is bringing the community together through the arts. She has taught numerous courses on how students learn, including theories of cognition and motivation, and their application to traditional classrooms and online learning. She's currently instructing business and professional writing and writing for the web. Arlene is also helping create learning environments designed to support online instruction. Welcome to part 2 of our show. Welcome back, ladies.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Really
Yes.
good to see you. And I'm all so excited and at the edge of my chair wanting to hear what is happening right now in the community and what our viewers can actually see in person. But before we get to that, Betsy, perhaps you can just kind of give an overview of the project itself.
All right. Well, the three of us, Arlene, Julia, and I, share kindred beliefs in the power of bringing art and uniting art and writing to the general population. And to that end, we've created a series of banners that the mayor of Watsonville, Felipe Hernandez, envisioned as the first art walking tour in downtown Watsonville. And so we've created a series of banners which are basically designed in a kind of vertical format. This is a small card. These are 4 of our different artists: Cruz Zamarón, Eduardo Carrillo, Amalia Mesa Baines, and Edward Ramirez. There'll be 26 banners in all. They'll be about 2 feet by 3 feet, and they'll be installed as part of a walking tour weaving its way through the downtown corridor of Watsonville. And Arlene, I know we were just there last month looking at windows, and here we are September 1st.
So we're very excited because it's sort of the culmination of a project that we've been working on for several years, starting with a core of 10 artists and a poster project, which grew into 25 artists and works with Julia, writing a book, which is called Hablamos, Juntos, Together We Speak, and it's a bringing together of the voices of our community, where what's going to be on the banner are pictures of each one of these artists and an excerpt of each of the writings. The students had 8 weeks of writing with mentors from Julia's project, and so now we're taking an excerpt out, putting it in English and in Spanish, and combining it with the image. And those are what's going to be on the banners and put throughout the town. It's going to be a family event. It's going to officially open on September 16th, Mexican Independence Day. And it's just a community celebration of the richness of Latino art and of the expression of the youth of the community.
Wonderful. And Julia, can you tell us about your involvement with this?
Yes, of course. The Young Writers Program has partnered with Pájaro Arts and Museo Eduardo Carrillo to create these books that feature the work of Latinx artists throughout California. This was our first year, and this was this past academic year, Hablamos Juntos, which has expanded into the banner and poster project. But it's just fabulous. I can't tell you how, what would be the word? Heartwarming? It's bigger than that. To watch these students receive these books who have had so little, typically, so little resources, so little of themselves reflected in the culture. And here they are given the respect of the artists, the respect of our organizations, to write about their lives, to see it reflected in this artwork.
How empowering for them.
And it is incredibly empowering. You know, regardless of whether or not they take that and become artists or writers in the future, they will always have this little bit of a spark that has them self-identifying as published writers. And that is a huge boost to their success, to their sense of who they are, to their sense of who they are in the community. So
to be seen is just
to be seen is everything, isn't it?
Important.
It is very important. So yes, all of us collectively so fervently believe in giving these students voices, in having them feel as though they have a place where they are heard, where their experience is valued, where they are contributing to the community, and where they are making a difference and have the potential to make a difference. So that's, you know, I think I've forgotten your original question, but
well, I think that you spoke to it nonetheless.
Okay, good.
Yeah. And it's so important for us as we take these into classrooms and into other situations that we're supporting the curriculum, we're supporting sequential learning, we're supporting the 4 Cs, where
thank
you know
for
Common Core.
Common Core is really important, but it's all aligned with Common Core.
But it's so these are all opportunities to implement what's the state mandated educational regulations and standards. So we're really aware of that, and we're very open to working within that system, because it allows each child that opportunity for critical thinking, for individual identity, communication, all of those aspects.
And I should mention too that we have volunteers from the community who come in and help students for 6 to 8 weeks. And we know, thanks to data that's out there, that 30 hours of one-on-one mentoring can raise a student's grade by 1 grade point level. So it's incredible what having adults who will not only help them with the work, but who listen to what they have to say. And, you know, it's really not rocket science. You listen to what someone has to say. You have an ear for what they're going through. You acknowledge what they're going through. They feel validated and they feel empowered to be able to write in a way that they have not thus far been able to write.
Yeah, inspired to show up.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of our work was summed up by a quote that we just found recently that might be a good time to read this. It's by Lucille Clifton, who is an American writer and a poet laureate of Maryland. And she said, "Children need both windows and mirrors in their lives. Mirrors through which you can see yourself and windows through which you can see the world. And minority children have not had mirrors. This has placed them at a disadvantage. If you want to call white children majority children, they have only had mirrors. That has also placed them at a disadvantage." So this is not only opening the world to be reflecting different cultures, in this case Latino culture, it's also giving a window into that culture for children who are not from this. So everybody has a voice and an experience in it.
And one of the things I think it's a good moment to talk about, the project is based on California artists. There's certainly fabulous artists all over the country. And here's another topic. I think generationally we're moving through a linguistic moment. Previously, from the 60s, maybe into the 80s or 90s, we've thought about Chicano. We've moved into a time that considers more broadly Latino. And now also we're looking at another kind of seismic change in referring not to Latino, which is the masculine, or Latino with using the A, like the at sign, which would include sort of an AO visual. But now there's a move to using an X, so it's Latinx. So if you're hearing us bounce through those different linguistic transitions, I think that's also kind of an important moment. Many young people don't think of themselves as Chicana, Chicano, because that is really representative of a very historical social time. The other thing that I wanted to talk about for a moment had to do with the artwork, for example, here. This piece being by a professor, Dio Mendoza, at CSUMB down in the Monterey region, and that his piece using this recycled styrofoam inspired in this young writer, Elizabeth Albor. One of the things down in the second paragraph she writes, "The barbed wire in this picture made me think of a lot of difficult times I'm still going through." And I think that as somebody involved in the arts, that this project isn't exclusively about an art historical stance in bringing an art historical way of talking about the artwork, that what we want is to promote a very personal entry into the artwork. So when you look at this work, when we think about looking, I might just see this tree, but what this writer has seen is the barbed wire. And that this whole moment of visual recognition for her has brought out a story that many teenagers, many families are experiencing around incarceration of youth, mass incarceration of youth, disproportionate numbers of Latino youth and Black youth being incarcerated. And the other just example has to do with this image, this painting by Ivan Rubio, written, taken up and written by Chris Rossetti. And one of the things he starts out with is, the picture I picked out reminds me of my Uncle Georgie. My Uncle Georgie is a buff, tall-ass foe, and he's all tatted up from his neck down to his legs. And I think that one reason that's so important is because this represents someone in his family right now, somebody in many families right now. And the story unfolds as one of his uncle cautioning him not to get involved in gangs. And I think that that heart of loving family safety is also expressed as an important emblem of this cultural response, this cultural moment. So.
Yeah, and I think it's so important in this project and several of the others that we've done from Pajaro Valley Arts is giving this voice. When we did the first public art one with the big posters of the youth, they picked their theme. And the theme that they picked was peace in our streets, you only live once. That's what's on their mind. And that was able to be validated. What's on their minds with these 8 weeks of being able to write and respond to this artwork, again, gave that validity to the deep things that they're feeling. And it's really important to be able to express that, and as in some of these, find redemption and find a way through it by looking at it, exploring it, and then being able to see the light through it. It's just so exciting and heartwarming. I want to also mention some of our other partners, because this doesn't just happen in a vacuum. From the beginning, the City of Santa Cruz funded us and was supportive of us. The Arts Council in Santa Cruz County has supported us. Watsonville City has supported us. The Pajaro Valley Unified School District. Who else?
Santa Cruz County Office of Education.
The Santa Cruz Office of Education, all of our organizations, and people far and wide are becoming interested. Smithsonian Virtual Museum is interested. LA County School District is interested. So there's a need here that's so exciting to be doing, and we just can't wait till these banners are up and you get out and see them by the beginning of by September 16th, right now, this month, they're there. And you can come, there's going to be a map.
So where is there?
There, you start by 37 Sudden Street, which is the Pajaro Valley Arts Council Gallery. And if you go around through Brennan and over through Eastlake and all the way over to the government buildings, maps are available in at the gallery. They'll be in the library. They'll be
in the businesses.
In some of the businesses, and you'll be able to walk. Get on the night of the event. You'll be able to get stamps if you've visited all of the sites.
Yes, and one of the things that we've found as a need in talking to Shaz at the Chamber of Commerce, talking to Carmen Herrera of the Economic Incubator, as I said, Mayor Felipe Hernandez, is that there's a desire to enliven the downtown community. There's already the Digital Nest down there, there's Cabrillo College down there right on the plaza, the library right there on the plaza, or right across from the plaza, basically, and that this has an economic development component, that the streets are safe to meander, and they're a welcoming place, that the arts and the community stories by teenagers is an energizing hub to bring people down and have them kind of go from one place to another. As Arlene was saying, there'll be kind of local field trips through Pajaro Valley Unified, so that students will be able to take this probably under a mile walk, basically under a mile kind of a walk, and see all this artwork during the months of September and October in downtown Watsonville.
So wonderful.
Yeah.
God, it's been such an exciting collaboration.
Yeah.
It's been
Such an
terrific.
exciting
Yeah.
collaboration. So what are your goals for the future? What kinds of ideas do you have coming up?
National domination. National domination of bringing Latino artwork to the fore, to youth who, of course, are our future leaders in the country, and that this can be a model, of course, for all sorts of less represented communities we, with our, and living in California, have a particular, and my organization, Museo, Pajaro Valley Arts, you know, Young Writers Program, there's definitely a preponderance, a larger proportion of Latinx students or Mexican American students, South American, but that this is a model for other groups that also need bigger representation in the educational landscape of who is doing creative work right now.
And a lot of it is based on the concept that when somebody produces art, whether it's a picture or a drawing or a visual art or in the writing language area, it's coming from inside out, and somebody else is reading it, viewing it, interacting with it, and people are no longer the same after they've had that exchange. They've become a little bit bigger, a little bit more open, a little bit more expressive, a little bit more understanding of somebody else or something else, and so now they've had the opportunity to grow a little, and we feel that it's going to be exponential and that it just passes it forward and forward. And then on a more concrete level, we are actually applying for grants right now to try and really develop a solid curriculum, say 3 or 4 modules over a school year time that would use this artwork and these concepts of the writing and maybe bring in other activities of integrated curriculum using the art as a foundation. And if we can get that curriculum written for 5th, 6th grade, some middle school grade, and start using it in a couple schools, then do it district-wide and then county-wide, and then again share it. It's a model to have inclusion, because accessibility, inclusion, we're all part of this together. And we each, as we said earlier, want to be seen, heard, and understood. So we're trying to give voice to that. And all of the work we do, all of the materials we have are free and accessible.
In the Hablamos Juntos series. Also, one of our personal goals, one of Museo's goals, and this would be available through, I mean, Pajaro will have their own unit on their website, but is that, again, the work is available 24/7, free and downloadable. Right now we have 26 images. By the end of the year we could have almost 100, and that there's a mechanism for this to expand and for the experience of living Latinx artists to be talking directly to the viewers through the questions that were devised by Arlene and myself and Julia in the project.
Maybe you want to explain a little more what's on the back of the...
Do you want to show that?
Sure.
And the careers.
Yeah, on our first, the first 10, we've been able to have laminated and produced, and in addition to the beautiful artwork on the front, we asked a series of questions. All the artists signed a contract saying that this work is for educational purposes, and we have the use of their images for free. They still own the image and the artwork themselves. And we asked them, let's get personal. What's your cultural history? Who were you mentored by? What's your educational training? And what would you like to tell young artists? And then we go into, here's the artwork. Here's the medium. Here's the intent of the work. How does the art impact life? And then we go in and ask questions about looking at the art slowly and closely. You know, what do you want them to look at? What do you want them to notice? And then to get a fuller picture, some additional comments. And so these artists all have committed a lot of time, energy, their thoughts, their what they want to pass. So it's all a part of paying it forward, being inclusive, and we have this for each one of the artists, and all of this information. This is edited down text. We're going to put the full text online. So there's been a commitment by every level to the integrity of the project.
Wonderful.
So
So
we're
Take
excited.
Back Our Power has a pretty wide viewing audience in the Monterey Bay. So can other communities other than Watsonville
Yeah.
expect to see this show? Because we were speaking,
Yeah.
Betsy, and it's a movable show.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, the banners will, I mean, this is sort of a little technical detail, but the idea is that the almost 2-foot banners have grommets in the upper corners so that,
And suction cups.
and suction cups for hanging them so that they don't impact the surface of the windows. They'll be outward facing, so people who are meandering through downtown Watsonville any time of the day can see them. But they are, our goal would be for them to travel. And
We're hoping to go to the government buildings in the spring and then throughout, share them with all the counties. I know Monterey, San Benito, Santa Clara. And
So if there's someone watching the show right now that is interested in having the exhibit come,
yes,
who would they contact?
either contact me at the Pajaro Valley Arts Council website, pajarovalleyartscouncil.org, or
you could,
museoeduardocarrillo.org.
yes, you could go online to the museo's online museum, and there's a contact page, and we could probably have it for you to post under our names.
Yes,
Yes.
we will do that.
We would love to share it. That's such a cornerstone is accessibility, and don't have to reinvent the wheel or put your own artists into the prototype or
mix.
whatever you
Yeah.
want. It's open and ready to go.
Wonderful.
Good.
You know, the three of you are obviously living your passions. You're obviously involved with what is so meaningful to you. And so when you come together and collaborate and
It's
inspire,
a tornado.
it is so inspiring to me
Yeah.
and so empowering to all that you come in contact with. Really, really. It's so, how blessed are our youth in this area to have the three of you.
Thank you, Joy.
Thank
Yeah.
you for this
Really.
opportunity.
And, you know, I so appreciate you coming, and we look forward to amazing things and the knowing that there's some really fabulous stuff going on in this area. And we can go out, our viewers can see it right now, downtown Watsonville. So thank you
Absolutely.
again for all the
Thank
marvelous work you do in the world and inspiring others. And thanks
you,
for
Joy.
coming.
Thank you, our pleasure.
Yeah.
And thanks for joining us on Take Back Our Power. We will see you again soon.